Occasionally, you guys will hear me say something like, I feel bad for a player, I feel bad for a franchise, or I feel bad for a team. Well, I really didn't want to start this video off by saying something like that yet again, but when I look at the Sacramento Kings and the facts that I have compiled, I really do feel bad for this team and its fan base. In the comments below, I want you guys to let me know if you feel like there has been a more unfortunate franchise in the NBA. I see a lot of people blaming the Sacramento Kings shortcomings on De'Aaron Fox and the players on the floor. The shortcomings of the Sacramento Kings have not been on De'Aaron Fox or the Sacramento Kings roster at all. I think it starts with the front office and then it trickles down to the product on the court. It really makes me mad when I see headlines like the Sacramento Kings have not had a winning season since drafting De'Aaron Fox. While that statement is not false, it's not the entire truth. The truth is that the Sacramento Kings front office has struggled on a very high level. Before Fox even got to Sacramento, there was another player by the name of DeMarcus Cousins that was shouldering all the blame for the Sacramento Kings shortcomings. And look, I know DeMarcus wasn't perfect during his time in Sacramento, but man, it really did feel like he gave Sacktown everything he had. And if you ask me, the fact that they couldn't make the playoffs during his tenure in Sacramento was not solely on him. Check this out. The last time the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, Kevin Durant was still in high school. The last time the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, Twitter was 3 years from being launched. The last time the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, iPhones literally did not exist. The last Sacramento Kings playoff game was played on May 4th, 2006. Like I said earlier, I talk a lot about feeling bad for teams, and I've felt bad as a Pelicans fan, but I don't think that we have had it near as bad as the Sacramento Kings have. This team traded what was a perfectly fine and prime DeMarcus Cousins for Buddy Hield and picks. I'm not going to get into the full details of the trade, and say what you want with the benefit of hindsight, but when this trade went down, to me, it was one of the craziest trades that I had ever seen. I said this in one of my previous videos, and I'm going to say it again. I really feel like people sleep on how good a prime DeMarcus Cousins was. Bro, the whole situation, the whole trade was so crazy to me. Their owner literally thought that Buddy Hield had the potential of Stephen Curry. While we're here, I can't believe that Buddy Hield is still actually a Sacramento King after all of this time. There have been times in Sacramento where Buddy has been beyond frustrated, whether it be due to his role, his playing time, or the fact that he just wants a fresh start somewhere else. The frustration for Buddy has been real. Things got so bad at one point, Buddy Hield was reportedly not returning calls from Luke Walton. Bro, imagine your coach is trying to contact you and you are just flat out ignoring them. That is literally tough, and that is something that you do not want to have in the locker room. Judging from reports, the Kings locker room has literally been all over the place this season, and so has the frustration. I guess it's worth noting that Buddy Hield was really close to getting traded to the Lakers this past offseason. To quote Kyle Kuzma, I was kind of shocked because I thought I was going to Sac. The trade for Buddy Hield, that stuff was done. I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, I'm in Sac, 45-minute flight, not bad, but then out of nowhere, it goes, you're going to Washington. What sucks for Sacramento is Kyle Kuzma has absolutely been killing it for the Washington Wizards. Beyond the fact that Kuzma has been killing it, this is still a team that needs more wing depth. Today, Steinlein dropped a report stating that there is a rising belief around the league that Sacramento will trade Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield before the trade deadline. Lakers fans, do you still want Buddy? Where do we think Buddy Hield would be a great fit? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know where we feel like Harrison Barnes would be a good fit. There was a stretch of this season at the start where Harrison Barnes looked flat out unstoppable. I mean, this might sound dumb, but like he was legit going crazy. If I was Sacramento, I would have saw that hot stretch and been like, yo, we got to get you out of here ASAP while your value is peaking. That's one thing that I respect about franchises that are smart. They try to get the maximum amount of value out of a player. Buying low with high upside, always a great move. Selling low, not necessarily the best move, but sometimes you don't have a choice. If the Kings were to trade Marvin Bagley right now, who knows what his return would be? At this point, would the Kings even get a second round pick for Bagley? When you look at Bagley's career and you think about who he was drafted over, all you could do is shake your head. But I'm not sure that all of Bagley's faults are on Bagley. If Bagley were to get drafted to a different franchise, who's to say he doesn't have a different career? Who's to say that he doesn't have a better career? I agree that the mindset and IQ are not there at the moment for Bagley, but at the end of the day, he's still a player that has potential. Things have been a mess in Sacramento. While the team has held multiple player-only meetings, their coach has been saying things like this, quote, "This is the most disappointed I've been in 34 years in the NBA. I can honestly say that. That performance was absolutely ridiculous. Wait, it actually gets better. The second half was a disaster and an embarrassment. And as the coach of the team, I want to apologize to every Kings fan out there because you do not deserve this. You deserve much, much better and we'll find a way to give you guys better." Gentry had some wilder quotes that I'm not going to read for multiple reasons. I remember at one point, I literally thought that Gentry was trying to get fired because these quotes aren't exactly constructive and they don't really serve the biggest purpose. The Kings frustrate me for many different reasons, but one reason that I'm especially frustrated with the Kings is the fact that they went out and drafted Davion Mitchell this past year. Davion Mitchell is a good player, a lot of talent, but you already have 2 franchise point guards. You are a team that lacks wing depth. Your solution to addressing the lack of wing talent on the roster is to draft a guy that can effectively guard one position on the basketball floor. Davion Mitchell is a great defender, but he's only around 6'1". While the Kings tried to sell us on this whole 3-guard thing, I never really bought into it. If you're De'Aaron Fox, if you're Haliburton, what type of message does this pick send to you guys? With the Kings struggling on defense and needing more size at their guard position and their wing positions, I always thought that them trading for Ben Simmons made a lot of sense. September 1st, it would be reported that the Kings did not want to part with De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Haliburton in a trade for Ben Simmons. Fast forward to January 8th, 2022, and Kyle Neubeck would report that Sacramento is now reportedly open to making De'Aaron Fox and or Haliburton available in the right deals, and those aren't equal propositions for Philadelphia. I'll update you guys on the Ben Simmons situation in upcoming videos, but in the past we have seen reports that Ben Simmons wants Cali. My question to you guys is, how do you feel about Ben Simmons in a Sacramento Kings jersey? Today, Chris Haynes reported that De'Aaron Fox's name is circulating throughout the league as a big-time player who can potentially be moved by the February 10th NBA trade deadline. Think the Sacramento Kings trading De'Aaron Fox makes way too much sense on every level. That being said, I have to see Sacramento trade him for me to believe that they are going to trade him. While McNair is definitely a step up from the last Kings GM, he still has a long ways to go to prove that he can build a winner in Sacktown. Sacramento King fans, if you guys are feeling bad about your current situation, do not feel bad. I am here to tell you that Tyrese Haliburton is absolutely for real. On the Laced Up podcast, I got a lot of flack for saying that Tyrese Haliburton is somebody that reminds me a bit of Stephen Curry when it comes to their shot creation. I legit meant that, and I understand that that may not be the most logical thing to say. I'm not saying he is a Curry clone. I'm saying that he does have a bit of Curry to his game when it comes to creating his own shot. He is crafty, he is special, he knows what to do with the ball in his hands, and most importantly, he can pass. Let me hit you guys with a little bit of data. As of January 11th, Haliburton was shooting 21 of 34 on step back threes. That is good enough for 64.3% on step back threes. That is unbelievable. Now, of course, this statistic is tracked by NBA.com, and that tracking is not 100% accurate. Overall, Haliburton is taking 5 threes a game and knocking them down at 44%. Like I said with Darius Garland before this season, I think Haliburton legit has all-star potential, and I want to say superstar, but I don't want to get torn apart by the comments. Haliburton is simply a winning player. The defensive IQ is off the charts. According to Franklin Cardicelli, Haliburton is the only Kings player in history to average 13 points, 7 assists, and 1.5 steals per game on 40% shooting from the three-point line. Now, I really didn't want to overload you guys with data, but according to StatMuse, using a 10-game sample size, Haliburton averages 19.3 points, 9.3 assists, and 3.4 rebounds in games where De'Aaron Fox does not play. Guys, Haliburton had a stretch this season that was absolutely filthy. If you guys don't watch Kings basketball, I suggest that you start. The unfortunate thing for De'Aaron Fox is that this season Fox has played more off ball, which in return has led to lower numbers across the board, even though his efficiency has still been pretty good. De'Aaron Fox has an unbelievable ceiling that for some reason I feel like people have started to sleep on. While some people may be asleep, perhaps the Sacramento Kings are not. This whole situation just gets more and more confusing because there are reports like this, quote, "Things I hear behind the scenes. He's not as engaged in the team as he's been in the past, and that's a problem." And then you see other reports like this. According to Shams, the Sacramento Kings are not moving star guard De'Aaron Fox, and they would like to center the team around Fox and second-year guard Tyrese Haliburton. Any potential deal around De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis will not happen, Kings sources tell Shams. The Kings remain active in trade conversations, but they are informing teams that they would still like to build around Fox and Haliburton. The backstory there is that there has been a lot of noise surrounding Sabonis and Sacramento. While what Shams said sounded good, I want you guys to form your own opinion on what's going on in Sacramento based on everything that I've shared with you guys in this video and everything that you've seen across the media. In situations like this, you can't always take statements and reports like that as complete fact. If we go back to DeMarcus Cousins getting traded, he said that when he got traded, he was basically heartbroken. It came out of left field. We see teams tell players that they're sticking with them and they're not getting traded all of the time. Sometimes it's just a leverage play. Sometimes front office members, teams leak information to try to control leverage. I can't stress enough how fluid situations like this are and how things can change at the blink of an eye. While Fox is one of my really good friends in real life, I'm always going to keep it a stack when I talk about him or the Sacramento Kings. Last season, Fox was averaging 25.2 points on 48% from the field. And while he was only shooting 32.2% from the three-point line, imagine if that number were to increase. I don't know about you guys, but I would absolutely love to see De'Aaron Fox playing basketball for the New Orleans Pelicans. Look, I know people are going to get mad. Look. Okay, I get it. You guys could put the team you want to see him playing basketball for in the comments below. I'm just saying, he was born in New Orleans. Anyways, he's much better than the statistics show. While I think him and Haliburton could do big things in Sacramento, I definitely wouldn't be shocked to see Sacramento trade Fox, considering the fact that he's already off of his rookie deal. I think Haynes said it best. While Fox takes full responsibilities for his shortcomings, I think a new situation may be best for everybody involved. That being said, he still has a lot of love for Sacramento. And to quote him, "I'm not going to sit here and say I want to get traded, but anything can happen in this business." I want my Pelicans in the play-in, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Kings there if they didn't turn into sellers at the trade deadline. They have talent. They just have to figure out how to utilize it. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.